Now let's bring Mark Murphy into the discussion here. He's the editor of the Providence Business News, here today to talk about what's been a big topic of discussion in the news for the last few days, and will continue: the status of illegal immigrants in this country and everything happening at the borders, those centers where the children are being held, et cetera, et cetera. Front page and I should say cover story in the current issue of the newspaper has to deal with how the municipalities in the state of Rhode Island are feeling about this, specifically about a suggestion the ACLU made some time ago that local law enforcement not cooperate with federal immigration officials in terms of detaining illegals. And you say, or the article says, so far only one Rhode Island community says, yeah, we'll do that.
At South Kingstown has adopted this model ordinance. A large part of that comes from the fact that the University of Rhode Island is in South Kingstown, so they have a lot of international students. So I think that they just feel sort of a more progressive view of the issue. Jamestown looked at it, and they had a lot of collected a lot of signatures to put it on a ballot, but then the council actually decided to study it.
Now, other Rhode Island communities, I guess, haven't said anything. Nobody's actually come out and said, no, we want the police to cooperate with the federal agents? No,
really, most people aren't saying anything. And actually, Mayor Elorza in Providence has said Providence is a sanctuary city, which has no legal, status. But they have said that they are not going to help out ICE officials in administrative warrants or civil warrants. I mean, remembering the issue here, if you're an undocumented or illegal alien, it's not a criminal offense, it's a civil offense.
Now, there is obviously some support for the illegals and their efforts to come into this country. We saw several demonstrations over this past weekend. Several hundred people were here at the State House in Providence, and 300 more were at the ACI in Cranston, symbolically standing in front of a house of detention to criticize the practice of putting these kids into these centers. And there was another demonstration in Boston as well, and this was the story all over the country. But the municipal officials figure this is maybe too difficult to talk publicly about?
Well, I think it's not just that. I think that the state and the country are divided on it. For instance, I'll give you an example. We on PBN.com, we have a weekly poll. And the question we had last week was, should Governor Raimondo send Rhode Island National Guard troops down to the border in Texas to help enforce the new policy put in place by the Trump administration? And it was 50-50.
Yeah.
The people who responded to the poll. So it's not clear. It's not just what one party over another, or people are really sort of conflicted by this. So I think that a lot of municipalities are trying to just sort of weigh in or not weigh in, because they really don't have a clear mandate from anyone.
And there's much more about it in the current issue of the Providence Business News, in print or online. And Mark Murphy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.